Podcast. Across from me is Big, and I am your co-host, Blizz. And this is episode 4. Am I right, Big?
Yeah, episode 4. We took last week off, had some family stuff, sick kids.
Yeah, sick babies is never any good. But so yeah, we apologize for having to take last week off to the few of you that are subscribers and listeners at the moment. But yeah, you know, stuff happens. I'm sure you guys can understand and appreciate that. But where do you want to start today or tonight, Big?
You have some things you'd like to say about LeBron and his current acting saga.
Oh my God. Yeah, so this is going to get some love and some hate. There's no in between with this situation. Again, I bring it up a lot. I'm a Warriors fan. And we didn't run the podcast last week, and I really want to talk about this. But, and this is just one of many things, many times with LeBron, I should say. Great player, one of the greatest. I undoubtedly, you know, I don't waver in that opinion. I agree that he's one of the greatest. But I will wholeheartedly say that his legacy is, I guess, lightweight tainted by the flopping. And not only the flopping, but the acting he does afterwards. Would you agree, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, he makes a spectacle out of every little injury. Mm-hmm. When, if we look back at...
What do you want to even say? It's an injury?
Well, I'm saying even like the minorest of
any physical
inconvenience.
Yes, thank you.
He turns into a spectacle, which I find weird because growing up, it was like we were always taught play through everything.
Yep, play till the whistle, through the whistle.
It did like if it hurt, wrap it up.
Yep.
If it hurt, take some ibuprofen. If it hurt, who cares? Run it off. Do this, do that.
I agree.
Because I know that if I'd have been rolling around on a court or a field like that,
clipboard,
whistle. Or the coach would be like, you know what?
Bench.
Just pack it up.
Yeah.
Just pack it.
You obviously don't want to be here.
Yeah, like if you don't want to be here, there's the door.
So, and that's the thing too. Like, I understand LeBron. You know, like this new Space Jam movie. It will never touch the original Space Jam. I don't care who agrees or disagrees. You guys can kiss my ass. No, I'm kidding. But I'm a '90s baby, so nothing will ever touch the GOAT, MJ, and that Space Jam. But he's gonna win probably an Academy Award for this movie. Because he's got years of experience with his acting. Like, mind you, so they're in the playoffs against my Warriors, the Warriors, when he got Draymond, I believe it was Draymond, came down with a hand to the I saw forehead. I didn't see the eye poke. I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm going to be biased, but he spent 80 seconds? Did it say 80 seconds on the ground?
That's what all the memes and the stuff are saying is he spent 80 seconds rolling around, holding his eye,
rolling around on the court under the basket in the baseline, basically. But a batter in the MLB gets hit dead in the face with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, spends 30 seconds on the ground, gets up, and basically walks it out. And then.
You want to know why?
Was it?
Ain't no crying in baseball. And when you get hit, you don't rub that shit. You don't let the pitcher know it hurt.
Yeah, no shit.
That's like an unwritten rule. When you get hit by a pitch, you don't rub it because you don't want that pitcher to know that it hurt. If I get hit with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, I'm going to cry to my mama. I'm going to text her and be like, hey, mama.
Right, I'm suing that pitcher. No, I'm kidding.
But, assault, man, that's a deadly weapon.
Right. But yeah, so... After rolling around the ground for over a minute and almost a half, he got up and proceeded to, tell everybody that he can't see. Went and shot 2 free throws and swished both of them, not being able to see out of one eye. And then he hit a clutch three-pointer a few feet behind the line that pretty much sealed the game, which it was a great shot. But after he hit the shot, he had to point to his face and tell everybody he couldn't see. And then after, in the post-game interview, they asked him about that clutch shot. He said, I saw 3 hoops and I just shot at the middle one. Like, dude, we get it. You got hit. If you got hit in the eye, cool. I mean, whatever. But he had to, make it a spectacle. Make sure everybody knew. He always does that. He wants his legacy to be like, I played through something bad and still overcame. Mm-hmm. But you're not. You know, he spends more time with his hands up, looking like pissed off because he didn't get a foul. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like those people who...
Hypochondriacs.
Well, I was going to say, he's kind of like those people who, like, tip really well.
Oh, yeah.
But they're like, oh, I'm going to tip the bill.
Yeah.
Like, I spent $100, I'm going to tip $100.
Yeah.
And then they make a big deal about it on Facebook.
They have to.
Because they want someone to know that they did it.
Anytime anybody does something nice for somebody, and they post it, it's like, oh, you know, I did it out of the kindness of my heart. No, you did it for attention, you know.
And you might have done it partially out of the kind, but more of it was for...
Absolutely.
The likes, the views.
Everything's clout. Everything's clout with this.
So that's how I feel LeBron is when it comes to, my ankle. I played through a whole twisted ankle the whole game, man. You see me? I went off for 50 with this twisted ankle, and he keeps referring to that twist or with this. Yeah. I got hit in the eye, man. I couldn't even see my free throws, but guess what? Bang bang.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw three hoops. Why don't you just close the eye that was fucking hurt? One eye willy that shit. You know, like people that drunk drive. One eye willy. Not saying that's cool, but whatever. But it leads me to Kobe being Bryant. Tore his fucking Achilles in the middle of a game. One of the most painful things you can do. Shot 2 free throws, made them, and walked off the court. Would not let anybody help him off the court. Like, that is a GOAT. That is a great. You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron is a great when it comes to gameplay. But the games he plays during gameplay is tainting his legacy. That's my opinion. So, do you have anything else to touch on that? Or do you want to move on to the next?
I mean, yeah, he makes himself look soft.
Yes, but he always claims to be the hardest. Always flexing when he anything. He flexes like he's the toughest guy on the court. And then if you slapped his ass and he thought it was the opposite team, he'd fall down and act like his hammy was messed up. But yeah, sorry for cutting you off on that. But you're right. You're 100% right.
But I mean, they're up 2-1 on the Suns right now. The Lakers are.
Excuse me.
Phoenix took the first game, and LA's just kind of had fun with them since then. But as Chris Paul does, he gets injured.
Well, and not only that, but as LeBron does, he sits games out, saying he's hurt. But we all know that he takes time off. Like what's the word they use?
They rest.
Resting, I guess. But I've heard a different word used that's specifically for that. But yeah,
time management or load management is what they use.
But it's just funny how he was injured for 2 weeks leading up to the playoffs, and the first game of the playoffs. Oh, look at that! I'm back. Him and AD both.
That's the new NBA, though.
It is.
And there's some of the old heads like Tim Duncan. He said right before he retired, he's like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to do that.
Did you see Vanessa Bryant's speech for the Hall of Fame induction for Kobe? She said that she touched on Kobe's injuries and his Achilles injury and how he still shot the free throw. I got that quote from her. But she had touched on how she had asked him, like, if you're hurt, why are you playing? You should sit out. He says, because I owe it to the fans. We might have fans, we do have fans at games that will only be able to attend one game, whether it be money or travel, only be able to attend just one game, and they're here to see, the whole package and me being part of that. Why would I sit out if I can play and ruin that opportunity, ruin that memory for them?
Well, yeah.
That's a stand-up thing. Kobe is a GOAT.
Tim Duncan said something like that, where you're seeing these guys not even go on plane rides with the team sometimes now.
That's wild.
Like, you got them
not even
injured. And I mean, if you're really injured and you can't fly because because there's some injuries where they suggest not to be on planes.
The altitude, you can't.
But there's some guys that are just saying they're injured to kick it back at home and not travel. Like, you're not going to be that much of not a teammate? Like, if you're going to load manage, whatever. Like, that's the NBA as we know it now. Like, all the stars are load managing.
Yeah, really. That's ridiculous.
But I mean, like, you're not even going to travel with the boys?
Yeah, exactly.
You think you're that much better than the other 12 guys on the bench?
Yeah.
Well, the starters plus the guys on the bench. Like, you really think you're that much better?
Yeah, you're the whole team, you don't have to.
This isn't the 07 Cavaliers where LeBron had to carry Delonte West on his back to the playoffs?
Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy. But, it is what it is. So, I feel like I'm aging myself, obviously, feeling like a real old head, We're talking about load management and, oh, yeah, this is, like you're saying, this is the new NBA. And I'm like, it's ridiculous. In the 90s, they wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
Exactly. In the mid-2000s, they were doing it. AI wasn't doing it. Kobe didn't. Yeah. But you're right. It's the new new NBA. It's like the last 5 years. LeBron has been. Anyways, I'm done shitting on LeBron because I'm just sounding like a scorned ex-girlfriend right now. So, anyways, what are we on to next? You want to touch on something?
I mean, we can go over all the game threes. So we got Bucks up 3-0. They sweeping.
Yeah,
they close in
100%. They don't have an answer for Giannis.
I mean, when you lose by 30 in game 3,
yeah,
it's tough to come back from a 3-0 deficit, lose by 30.
You think the whole team should just load manage the next game? not become.
Hey, Jimmy Butler, a dog. Yeah, he don't load manage.
Yeah, he'd come out and play by himself if he could. Yeah, no, Jimmy Butler is a dog.
He's a dog, and in the best way. I mean that in the most respect. Like that.
Yeah.
Like when you say like there's a fight in a dog, like Jimmy Butler is like 8 pit bulls boxed into one body.
100%.
Like that man is, like, he's a defensive star. Mm-hmm. Like if you put him on any team, like right now Miami doesn't really have an A-list star.
Yeah.
But you throw Jimmy Butler on any NBA team, and he's gonna do his thing.
Yeah, he's improving that team for sure. He really is, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
And like I said, he just grinds. Yeah. And then, like we said, LA's up 2-1. I think that series goes to 5.
Yeah, and LA probably wins it.
5 LA wins. Maybe 6. I think the Suns might take one more.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I just don't. LA's their roster's too big.
Well, and Chris Paul just went down with his and I shouldn't say normal, but he's been very typical to get injured in the playoffs recently.
He should load manage more.
And stop tripping people.
Oh yeah.
You see him trip Kuzma?
He tried and missed, and then the second, he was like a jackrabbit. Jumped up, pow, kicked his leg out, hella tough.
And did you see what LeBron did?
No,
LeBron, because Chris Paul tried to pull the, oh my bad, I'm going to pick you up.
Yeah.
LeBron said, nah, bro, you ain't going to trip a homie and then act like you picking him up. Nah.
Chris Paul, him and Austin Rivers are two of the biggest weasels in the NBA.
Chris Paul, great point guard.
Absolutely. He's going to be Hall of Fame for sure.
Douchebag person.
Yes. So many, I've seen quotes from so many players, past and present players, that cannot stand him. Because he's one of those guys that's like a gnat. He pokes at you, talks shit under his breath, pokes at you. And I hate to say it because domestic violence, I'm not saying this is a good thing, but how you see, like, say, movies where the woman's in the guy's face, hit me, and swinging on the guy, and the guy flexes, and, oh, he's going to hit me. And that's I shouldn't even have said that. But Chris Paul kind of embodies that, He's
that kid at the pickup game at the park that be talking shit, and then you punch him in the mouth, and he calls the cops on you.
Yeah. Runs, and he's...
My dad's a lawyer, I'm about to go get him type shit.
I'm about to sue you. Yeah. Him and Austin Rivers both. And Austin Rivers really is that kid. His dad, he grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. I mean, his dad, Hall of Fame coach.
His dad played in the NBA?
Yeah. Hall of
coach in the NBA?
Is he Hall of Fame on playing side?
No. See...
He was good, but he wasn't great.
Doc's same thing I say about Phil Jackson. They were average to mediocre players.
They were journeymen.
But their brain... is what even allowed them to play as long as they did in the NBA. They are just so into the game mentally, and that's what made them great coaches.
Yeah.
That's why I thought Jason Kidd would have been a better head coach, because he was a great player, and he was also very mentally into the game. And we see how that turned out.
Well, and Derek, what's his name? That played for the Lakers.
Fisher?
Derek Fisher, too. I thought he would have been better.
To be honest, I thought Luke Walton was going to make some shit happen.
Well, I mean, he led the Warriors to the undefeated, going at 24-0.
Yeah, the best start.
In NBA history, because Kerr was out. But a lot of it is they already had that coaching embodied in them.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, and
It'd be like me walking in when there was Kobe and Shaq and all that shit, coming in and being like, I'm a good coach, boys.
Yeah.
Let's win this championship.
Right. And then they win. You're like, yep, that was me.
Yeah, no. That, like, you know what I mean? Like, Luke really just had to hold the seat down. You know what I mean? And that's fucked up to say, but I literally thought because I say it all the time, these mediocre players like Phil Jackson and Doc Rivers turn into these, like... Great coaches because to be able to be in the NBA, they didn't just off of pure athletics.
Yeah, they had to grind out, and outthink, outsmart. Yeah.
And so that's why, like, I don't think LeBron would be a good coach.
No, he would make it all about him.
And
it'd be a spectacle.
Some of these like old guys that depend more on their athletics than their like brain, just wouldn't be good coaches.
Well, that's why MJ would never coach. You know,
he has too big of an ego to coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, LeBron would not be good.
If we keep moving on, Denver's up 2-1 on the Trailblazers. I could see that series going 7.
I could too. Was it last night? The ending was wild. It was wild. But so they said that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Nuggets had 30 more points, so 10 more 3-pointers than Portland. And Dame was 2 for 12 from 3 all the way to like the fourth quarter, and he started hitting his shit like in the last 5 minutes of the game. Yeah. But it was too late, And then was it Jurkic? Is that his name? For the one of the bigs for Portland. He fouled out. Yeah. He fouled out, and that was like after he fouled out, you knew that they probably weren't going to be able to do shit. But Austin Rivers, Weasel Ass, was on fire.
Yeah, in that fourth quarter, he had
torched.
I think he only had 21 points that game.
24.
16 of them came in the fourth quarter.
I watched him hit. I watched the game. I watched him hit like 3-pointers back to back to back, and talk shit like he does with his face all twisted.
And that's the thing is like
that's what all he does.
Austin Rivers is a mediocre player.
Yeah, that's why it's such a big deal that he went off.
And then we got Atlanta leading the Knicks 2-1.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I guess Trae Young, he's under the fan skin, or the team, I guess, because they handed out printer paper with different chants that they were going to make fun of Trae Young.
That is so funny.
It's like a high school game, like they'd practice in their chants pregame.
But do you think any of those printer papers had the N-word written on it? Because he was called the N-word by a fan, racial slurs, who is now banned for life from attending any of those games or even any events at that stadium or that arena.
Yeah, because dude spit on him too.
Oh, it was spit. Okay, I'm sorry. I got it mixed up with Ja Morant.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. I mean, it could have been racial, but it wasn't talked about being racial. Spit on him. I apologize. Spit on him. So do you think that was on the list of chants? Like once we chant spit, maybe he was chanting. You start yelling real loud. Spit. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's the most disrespectful thing
100%
to a human being. One of, but
yeah, no.
But that fan is banned for life, and he can't go to any events at that arena. Like or indefinitely, which in the NFL definitely means they can bring you back. So.
Josh Gordon. That man's been indefinitely suspended how many times?
Why would you? If I was a commish, when he tried to go to Seattle, I would have vetoed it, like the NBA commish can do. The commissioner. You're going to send this pothead who's been in trouble for a pot to a state that weed is legal?
It's recreationally
it's completely legal.
He can walk down the street and be like, hey, look, club there, club there, club there. Oh, who's got the good?
Yeah, like Plaxico with drinking clubs.
But yeah, so they had written, like, one of them that I remember when I looked at the paper that some fan posted, it said Trae is balding.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, dang, like he lives rent free in the Knicks organization head, bro. Like,
yeah. I mean, so bad that the chance didn't work, so he had to spit on him. Trae is balding. He's got baby hair, but I didn't notice he was balding.
He does kind of have if you look at the top of his head, and then we got Nets Celtics. Brooklyn is up 2-1 after losing tonight. By 6.
I'm so happy they lost.
I mean, they tried to come back. They were down like almost 20 at one point.
Yeah. We were watching that right before we started recording.
Yeah, and so they got it back to 6,
which is scary because that means that if they're down by freaking 10, they can come back and they can come back. They got 3 superstars in that team, and you know what? I thought the ego was really going to get in the way. egos, but it hasn't done as much as I thought, unless they're keeping it kind of close, you know.
Well, I mean, Lakers did that for a long time. Yeah. Kobe and Shaq had their issues.
Oh yeah, they did.
It was a lot of it was kept under the table, and even the little stuff that bubbled out, they downplayed like it was no big deal. Yeah. And then now you look back, and then it's like
it's major.
Yeah, it was major issues where they hated each other, but fought through it and won championships.
It literally fought at one point. Kobe said he had swung at Shaq at a practice, and as soon as he missed, as soon as he started swinging and it was already, he couldn't pull back, he said in his head, he said, "Fuck, I fucked up. Like, I fucked up bad." But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, speaking of fans, this pandemic must have got these NBA fans thinking they got some big ass balls or something, because they just all over the place. I mean, we talked about the dude spitting on Trae Young. I guess in Utah, Ja was telling he thought his family was cheering too loud. So
maybe
he told
just
him
being too rambunctious.
Yeah, so he told him to chill it at halftime. Told his family, "Hey, y'all being too loud. We're in an away game, like you're doing the most type of thing." Yeah. And after the game, his family told him that they were the fans that they were going at were using racial slurs and sexist terms towards some of his family members.
Fucked up, bro. That's so fucked up.
Yeah, and so Ja feels bad because he was telling his family to calm down.
Yeah.
When really they were just trying to stand up for themselves.
Yeah, defend themselves and shit.
But the Jazz have come out. The owner, Ryan Smith, he issued a direct apology to the Grizzlies organization, Morant and his family, and they have banned 3 of the people that they know were involved with the incident.
Good for them. Good for them, dude. That's good. It's crazy I lived in Utah for a long time, for many years, at least 10 years, growing up, and my grandfather used to take me to jazz games, and dude, believe it or not, you think Utah and you think LDS Mormon, you know, and the state it's run by majority, you know, LDS and Mormons, whatever, but some of the nicest people I've ever met, but their fans are ruthless. That's not the first incident that's been in the media of Jazz fans being blatantly racist towards players and stuff. And you wouldn't think it, but I mean, it is what it is. But it's sad that, you know, people still, like, it's 2021 and people still have to endure that bullshit, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I don't know. But you know, these being locked down for that whole year, not being able to go to sports games, were in their mirror in their bedroom working out, talking about, "I'm getting buff," and then, you know, letting them back in little by little, put a battery in their back. They think they're hot shit, but
oh yeah, no, dude, they like, I mean, and then you had the dude who thought it was cool, like, let me dump this popcorn on Westbrook, which, okay, not that bad in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, not spit, not racial.
It's disrespectful.
Absolutely.
And, like, as a grown man, I'm not going to dump popcorn on another grown man.
But that's the difference between you and myself and others. You know, some other people.
Like, but like for real, like, these fans come out here after not being in a game for what? I was at an event here in California, and it had been 14 months since they'd hosted sporting events in the county that we live in.
Yeah, and we have the rodeo. We have the biggest rodeo on the West Coast.
We have the biggest three-day rodeo in North America.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can do your homework and see where we're recording from, where we live at the moment.
And they literally, it was like the announcers said that it was the biggest sporting event that was attended live in 14 months.
You know what's crazy? And then Texas Cowboy Stadium said, "Hold my beer," and the fight between Canelo and I can't think of his opponent, the British boxer, broke records.
Oh yeah,
for attendance for a boxing match. Texas and Florida are on a whole different level.
Oh yeah,
but not only did they let fans back in, they broke a fucking record from the lifetime of boxing, the whole history of boxing. when we didn't have pandemics over the years of attendance. Like,
yeah, and that reference it wasn't the announcer referenced just California.
Yeah, no. I understand
Texas
I understand what you're saying, but that's fucking crazy.
Well, that's like, speaking of Texas just announced that if any business, any restaurant, any school tries to mandate masks, they will be fined by the state.
Holy shit.
Because
That's crazy.
They're not saying people can't wear masks.
Yeah.
They're saying that no business and no school has the right to force people to wear masks.
That's cool. I agree.
And that's how they stand. And, I mean, we're not going to get too much into that.
Yeah.
But that's just how I was just saying. Texas does their own thing.
So
like
Florida too.
Those southern states really just don't give a...
Yeah, they don't. Which is whatever. That's their prerogative.
But moving on... me and you talked about the Javi Baez Cubs Pirates.
Are you talking about the greatest play in the history of the MLB? And when you brought it up, or I seen the headline, I thought greatest as in a fucking crazy awesome. Like, it was crazy and awesome, but in something like it was like a freak of nature home run.
Or you thought Javi Baez did a backflip and caught a ball Willie Mays style off the wall.
Bo Jackson and then slinged it from center field all the way to home plate with no bounce. Yeah, I was thinking it was something on the positive aspect. Go ahead, Big. I'll let you take over. Holy shit. I'll get you to laugh.
And then when you see it, you realize, okay, it's the AAA Pirates. Everybody knows that they got some tough shit going on over there.
They haven't been shit since Barry Bonds.
McCutcheon left.
Yes.
Andrew McCutcheon left.
And he went to the Giants, too.
But Pirates first baseman, I found his name.
Oh, shit.
Will Craig caught the ball. And the bag was probably
break it down. The batter hit to what?
So Baez hit to...
Was it shortstop or the pitcher?
Let me see. It's literally right here in front of me.
He hit to one or the other.
It was a routine... Oh, it's to third base.
Oh, third. Okay.
He hit to third base. It was a routine grounder to third with a runner on second. Mm-hmm. And since the third baseman got it and was away from the bag, the runner from second's going to third.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
It's a given.
Given, textbook, third baseman's off, fielding, let's get to third.
Yeah.
Get closer. We're going to take the out at first. We'll move up. Boom.
Yeah. Be a scoring position.
Out, bang, bang. Oh, well, actually, when I'm looking at this ticker, it was 2 outs. So that out would have ended the inning.
Oh, my. I bet you they wish they would have.
Top of the third. And the third baseman threw a good throw. Not a great one. It pulled him off the bag a little bit.
About a foot and a half. 2 feet, maybe?
I'm going to say 3.
Okay.
I'm going to say 3. I mean, I'm giving the guy a little bit of extra here. He was 3 feet in front of the bag.
On the baseline.
He literally could have stepped... As a first baseman, 3 feet isn't that far.
No,
I've seen these guys stretch. Yeah. Like, these guys are flexible for big dudes.
Yeah.
Dude could have taken one long step backwards, had homeboy out.
Yeah, so touching first base would have been a force out.
Would have been a force out, inning over.
Instead,
he tries to tag dude.
Tries to run him down, gets in a pickle.
And Javi Baez says... No. And he runs back towards home.
Runs back to home. Like, you can't be safe on home. So that's what I'm thinking, too. Like, he ran back to home, and hoping that it would get in the pickle. And
Well, in my head, when I saw this happening, before I knew what happened, you always see when that happens. Because, like, a lot of these MLB guys, like, they've either played minors together. Like, they know each other for... Because in baseball, it's not like you come out of college... Yeah. You're in the big leagues.
Yeah, unless you're Bryce Harper or somebody. You're a superstar.
And even then, they spend a little bit of time in the minors.
Yeah.
And so some of these guys spend 4 or 5 years down in the minors, and they play with or against the same guys so
with
much.
Each other, yeah.
And so they get to be, like, really close friends.
Brothers at some point, yeah.
And so sometimes you see this when there's, like, a routine play at first, and someone's trying to tag out on the first baseline, and they, like, dance around and they jokingly play.
Yeah, they play around, yeah.
And I thought that was what was going to happen at first.
I
thought Javi Baez...
Boy, were you surprised.
So he goes running back to home. And I'm like, what is he... Like, is dude just going to run back to home, grab his bat, and go to the dugout? Like, what is he doing here?
Stand and plate and be like, I'm safe.
I legit thought it was going to be like a funny ha-ha moment.
Yeah.
And then...
It should have been.
And then all of a sudden, dude from third says...
Well, dude from second...
Well, yeah. He started out at second, moved to third. While the throw was being made, it was Wilson Contreras said,
They ain't looking over here.
I'm about to try to go
I'm still home.
I'm still home. Man goes home. And Will Craig is like, hey, bro, we're about to get the third out at home. Throws it to the catcher. And Contreras slides in safe.
Catcher misses by a long shot.
And Baez says, oh, look, no one decided to cover first. Second baseman. I don't know who you are, buddy, but...
Yeah, you're supposed to back him up.
That was your backup.
Or the pitcher.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Should have backed up first.
Yeah.
And Baez takes off running, and the pitcher didn't try to cover at all.
He was watching. He was probably watching like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Dumbfounded on the mound.
And second baseman, whoever he was, I don't know who he is for the Cubs.
Finally fucking pulled his head out of his ass and ran.
He ran, and so the catcher tried to hit him while he was running in stride so that he... Because still, at this point, all he has to do is catch and touch bag. So it's still a force out.
He's trying to hit him like Trevor Lawrence hitting what's his name? Tim Tebow in stride as a tight end. Anyways, we'll cover that in a minute too. But yes.
But so he tries to hit him. Mind you, again, all they have to do is touch the bag. It's still a force out.
Yeah. No matter how many times he runs back and forth.
It's still a force out. Catcher throws it behind the second baseman. The second baseman reaches back for it, trying to get to it.
Misses.
From the image, it looks like it hits off the tip of his glove, because it looks like it changes direction a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But it still misses and goes out into the outfield. These outfielders aren't backing up the infield. They're
watching like we were. Like, what the fuck is going on?
And so Javi Baez dives into first, thinking the second baseman's going to try to tag him out.
Safe.
He looks up and he sees the ball rolling. So you know what he does?
He's got real estate, nobody around it.
He gets up, and you can see him. He makes sure to retouch first so that he knows he touched first. And then he gets to second and slides feet first in. And to top it all off, the outfielder overthrows the shortstop covering second. Luckily, somebody in the infield was backing a homie up this time, and the third baseman caught it on the shortstop's path. And so the play ended there. But professional first baseman allowed a run to score, the next errant throws were not his fault.
No, but he put everything into motion.
Yeah.
If he would have stepped in the bag, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Oh yeah, and I mean, in your mind as a second baseman, you see that go to the first baseman.
Yeah.
In your mind, you're like, okay, bang, bang.
It's a bang, bang routine play.
You'd be surprised. I'm surprised the outfield didn't jog to the dugout.
Yeah, no shit.
You know what I mean?
Three outs. Like, they probably were trying to.
But they caught up with Will Craig.
Did they? Oh, shit, this is going to be good. That's the first baseman, correct?
Yeah, this is the dude who initiated this whole
Did they
play.
give him a dunce cap?
No,
Did they give him donkey of the day? He's going to be on Shaqtin' the Fool, the first time a sport other than basketball has been on Shaqtin' the Fool.
Yeah. And it starts with, he didn't say this. This is what the Sterling Bright, the writer, said. He said, anyone can make a mistake, even someone in the majors. And this rang true Thursday when Pirates first baseman Will Craig committed arguably the biggest defensive blunder of the season. Dude, I'm going to argue it's probably one of the biggest defensive blunders of all time.
Yeah. Dude, I coached my kids' T-ball teams, and they might have had some shit like that happen, but that's T-ball.
But you're telling me Will Craig, this kid, I say kid, but I don't know how he is. He's been at least playing baseball longer than any of our kids have been alive.
100%. 100%.
And he makes this play. So this is his quote.
Oh, good. This has got to be good.
This is Craig's quote. He said this on Friday. So Thursday is when when it happened. This is his quote from Friday. So he's had some time to see the clip again, relive it, process. So it's not in the heat of the moment.
And go on social media or the internet and see how,
see what he's getting hit with.
Yeah.
Mind you, this led to they ended up losing 5-3. That's how they ended up losing 5-3.
The Pirates did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 1-0 at the time and then 2-0 when dude scored. So this is what he said, word for word. It says, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, as soon as I released the ball," talking about throwing it to the catcher, he was like, "Oh, gosh, what am I doing? Like, I know better than that."
So he wasn't trying to throw out the runner going to home then? He wasn't trying to throw out the dude trying to steal home? He was trying to get the pickle.
I think he was trying to throw the dude out.
It doesn't sound like it to me, though.
But in the heat of the moment, he saw dude running and threw it thinking that...
I don't know, because he was so focused on Baez and then
his quote isn't done.
Oh, okay, my fault.
And I don't know what it says. I'm literally reading it right as we're...
Yeah, we'll learn together.
He said, "That's like simple baseball 101. Mm-hmm. But I guess in my mind, when I saw Baez kind of running back towards home, just kind of lost my mind for a second, and I saw the catcher, Perez, looking at me and kind of just released the ball, and the rest is history." So you're right. From the finish of that...
Yeah, he wasn't trying to throw him out at all.
I think he was trying to play the pickle.
He was. That's how I take it.
With a batter that couldn't go... The rule states... I saw someone pull up the rules to make sure that it was legal for him to even run back. The rule states that he can do that so long as he doesn't touch home plate or cross home plate. And if you watch Javi Baez, when he stops, he gets real close. He doesn't touch it, but his foot slides when he tries to change directions.
Yeah.
So Javi knew he couldn't go too much farther.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He knew what he was doing.
And
he's the true MVP of this one. And
to be honest, I will still say that I think Javi was just doing it to mess with the first baseman.
Yeah, just to be funny.
I don't think he thought dude was going to score. Because if dude scores and Javi still gets out at first, the run doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly. Even if the score comes in first, right?
Yeah, because now if Javi would have rounded first and got out, the run would have counted.
Yeah, but he didn't even touch base, so it's like the play never happened.
Yeah.
Well, it happened.
Dude from second wasted all his energy is really what happened.
Yeah.
And so I think Javi was doing it more as a, I'm going to make you run more than you need to run type of thing.
Yeah, fuck you guys. You guys are a minor league team. You'll fuck up somehow.
And, I mean, maybe that's what was going through his head is, hey, I'm going to see if I can get these guys to fuck up. Hey, more power to you, Baez. I mean, you were still, there still was an error, so you didn't get a hit for that at bat.
But he got the win.
Does it count for, does he get that RBI? No, because error brought the run in.
Yeah,
so no.
Yeah, it's error, so no, he wouldn't.
We didn't get the RBI on that.
That's crazy. That's fucking nuts, dude.
Baseball been wild, dude, with all those no-nos.
And I'm pretty sure what we touched on a couple episodes ago with the collision, I believe Baez was a part of it.
I do know that, speaking of no-nos, there was an ump made a pitcher change hats the other day because he thought the pitcher had an unknown substance on
So why didn't you just throw him out? Why did you make him change hats?
Well, that was because the ump noticed it as he was coming out of the bullpen. The pitcher's name was Giovanni Gallegos. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that correctly. He's a pitcher for the Cardinals. And he came out wearing the red Cardinals cap with the LS.
Probably the navy brim.
No, it's all red. 100% red. Flamed up.
It's all Suwood.
And in the picture that I've seen, on the top, like middle front of his brim, you can see some brown, which to me, being someone who's been around baseball, played softball, coached, like that kind of stuff, when you grab your hat, it's literally right where you would grab your hat.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're a pitcher, because the ball hits it when you're warming up. The ball hits the dirt, and
And so, like, I feel like there's two things. Either it's just dirt from him grabbing the middle of his hat to adjust it.
Yeah.
Because most people don't grab the corner of your hat to adjust it. You grab more towards that middle area.
Unless using both hands,
or it's either dirt from adjusting his hat, or he wanted them to think it was only dirt from adjusting his hat, which is big brain play, if that's what it was.
Yeah. Kind of like Baez running back to home plate.
And
if that's what it was. Sorry.
So they brought him out a new hat, made him switch hats. He hadn't thrown any pitches yet. The ump just noticed it as he was coming out of the bullpen.
Well, that makes more sense, and that's cool that the ump, if he wasn't sure, that he didn't toss him. Because a lot of umps, especially back in the day, would have fucking,
Well, I mean, just officials in general across the...
Oh, man. The new officials?
The
new officials are like the new LeBron.
They got these big-ass egos, bro.
Yes, they act like they're the star, and they kind of are, because they can change fucking games. They can change the outcome of... Well, they have... But I'm saying even with calls that they're not trying, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
They have that. So they think, oh, this is, respect us or fuck you,
Oh, pretty much.
It's crazy.
That's why I've watched, I don't know if you ever watched this guy. He runs a YouTube channel, and it's called Antonelli Baseball.
Yes, ex-pitcher, right? Second baseman.
Second baseman, shortstop.
Yeah.
He was drafted first round by the Padres.
Love this channel.
He does some gameplay with MLB The Show. He runs a Antonelli Baseball, which is training kids, and they have a travel ball team and stuff.
And he lives in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where he played most of his career, so maybe.
Yeah, I think that's where he lives.
But he always said when you get onto the field, you always butter up the umpires.
100%.
You learn their names.
100%.
You learn their families, because those guys...
can change the outcome of a game.
Can change. He's like, especially he's like, I've known pitchers over the years. He's like, I've played with and against guys that are still in the MLB, and that strike zone can literally change.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Based on your relationship with whoever's behind the plate.
Yep. As a pitcher,
and that's
it's wild. And as a catcher, your personality with that, your interactions.
He's like,
as a batter.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I saw something the other day. Well, one of the things he said is you never, everybody calls them blue. Because they kind of like what they wear in the MLB kind of has that navy blue. He's like, no, you learn their names. But I saw something the other day. It was crazy because, I mean, we all know that in the MLB, we've talked about how dudes have lost perfect games because of blown calls.
And they got a million unwritten rules we talked about earlier.
And it's just, there's just a lot of human error with that many umps on the field.
Absolutely.
Which is going to, it happens in any sport.
Yep.
But I literally, now in this day and age with the replays we have, so you know how, when they pitch, it literally has on the screen, they can show you the batter's box and where these pitches are at.
Yeah.
No lie. Watch this clip the other day. Pitcher throws this pitch. And it's middle up outside.
Yeah.
Clearly outside.
Yeah.
Gets called the ball. Okay, cool. Good call, huh?
I think I might have seen the same clip. But
throws another pitch. Literally on the stat track. Same exact location. Literally covered up the other pitch.
Yeah.
Was called a strike. Not 5 pitches later, 6 pitches later. It was literally
the
next pitch.
Yeah.
Same exact location, called a strike.
Yeah, it's all human error. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, and I said this before, these guys, no ref or ump or
it's
official,
not their full-time.
It's not their full-time job.
Yeah.
So, they do some trainings and they keep brushed up on it, but when you're a lawyer and you're in the courtroom, you're not thinking about, okay, ball strike, ball. That's not...
Yeah. Well, you're not thinking about, while you're trying to defend a client who's on trial, oh, shit, my 9 to 5, I got to do this at my other job. That's, you don't spend... They just don't have time to spend the hours watching tape or just get behind the fucking plate and have some guys throw BP. Well, and that's the thing too, okay, so as an ump, I respect the fuck out of them. Yes, there's human error, there's some bad calls and bad ones, but not only are you watching a ball come anywhere between 70-something to what the highest...
120?
120? 20 as a pitch?
120?
106, right?
No, I'm pretty sure there's some that have gone over 110 now.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that. But you're watching, baseballs. So they talk about batters and how hard it is to hit a fastball. And the time they have is like a millisecond. It's something with milliseconds, right? Am I wrong? A batter.
Yeah. So my bad. It's 105.1 is the fastest throw. And it's by Aroldis Chapman.
Yes, Chapman. That's what I thought. Excuse me. So they say a batter has to make the decision to swing or not to swing pretty much as the ball is leaving the pitcher's hand, because that's how fast they're coming at you. Now, being an ump, think about that. They're usually older. They're, the older you get, the less, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not in your prime as an athlete.
It's 0.4 seconds from, a fastball takes 0.4 seconds on average to reach from the pitcher to the catcher.
So they have about 0.2 to decide to swing or not.
It says 0.25 is that's a full reaction time to be able, for a batter to be able to react to the ball.
So that's crazy. So to be a batter that can hit like that, that's the time frame you have. But to be an ump, not only do you have to see that ball coming that fast and be able to call it, and they have to make that call fast. They don't get to.
You don't have time to think about it. No, it's a bang bang. You don't need.
You don't get to sit back and ponder for even a second or 3 seconds. Say ball. Hits the catcher's glove. Ball, strike, whatever. Okay. But at the same time, think about this. Not only do they have to deal with that, and they're older than these players, so they're not as athletic. You know what I'm saying? Like as sharp.
Yeah.
Sharp. They also have a fucking catcher kneeling in front of them, and they have a full mask on with bars, metal bars across their face that obstruct. So you got a body in front of you, a mask with bars, obstructing your vision somewhat, and a ball that's coming in 0.4 seconds.
And that's for a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's 90. And Chapman, 106. You have 0.25. That's
why it's not very hittable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know what I'm saying? So, like...
Well, and that's not the only thing.
People fault those umps. Like, and that makes sense on why the same exact pitch back-to-back was a ball and a strike.
Well, and one other thing, and it's becoming a huge... And it has been for a long time. It's not brand new. Mm-hmm. But it's a thing that catchers do that deceives...
The way they move, yeah.
The way they catch. They call it framing is what catchers call it. They call it framing because you can catch if your glove's here. Yeah. And I know everybody can't see, but if your glove is say bottom right chest. Corner.
Yeah.
Bottom right corner, and the heel of your glove, like your palm, is technically in the strike zone, but you're catching what
out of the strike zone.
Baseball players refer to as a snow cone. You're catching with the tip of your glove from the. And then if you catch and move into the strike zone, it can trick, because it's bang bang, it can trick the person's eyes behind the plate being like, oh, most of his glove was in the strike zone.
So the ball hits the palm.
So therefore it's a strike.
Yeah.
When in reality, that catcher, and there's some really good motherfuckers out there.
But also you can really fuck yourself by the ball getting loose and going behind.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
But they are catching it closer to the tip of the thing.
You said tip.
You said tip. But yeah, that's what they're doing. And so it's hard. Being out like one of the umps that's on the base paths.
Yeah, judging if the throw beat the runner.
Not as hard.
It's still hard, but not as.
But the guys behind that plate.
Yeah.
That's where the respect comes in for them.
And those are usually the loss, like the
veterans.
The veterans
been around for
that are the head of the crew, and that they've earned that right. They've earned that, and they've earned the relationships with players over the years, and that's why they're a lot older usually. But speaking of human error and calls, I don't know if you see it. I believe it was Patrick Mahomes said that the evolution of football, and this isn't his words, don't quote me, but this is what his point was, is coming to, they're going to have did you say chips or
microchips in the football for the end zone?
Oh, okay. So let me okay. I heard some halfway shit. I thought he was talking about being microchipped your fucking self.
Oh, no.
Okay. So microchips in the football.
Yeah, he was saying
that would be okay. That makes sense. I was about to be like, this motherfucker really wants to get microchipped.
No, he thinks he didn't take an opinion on
that
it either way.
Sense, yeah.
But he said he thinks with all the technology that is being put into the NFL specifically is ahead of the game when it comes to replays and it comes to all that stuff.
NBA is ahead of the game when it comes to like culture and not only that, but how they deal with racism and all this shit. But sorry, go ahead.
Like, and the MLBs, they don't like.
They're set in their ways. They don't like change.
Hard. They don't want to change the pace of play. They don't want to do any of that, which is fine. Whatever.
The MLB's the old whites.
As Pat McAfee says, the old whites are got control of baseball, and they're going to keep it slow, and they're just going to let it dwindle till nobody watches it anymore.
Yep.
But
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
But I mean, Pat McAfee he thinks like that it's literally the MLB is the worst thing in the planet.
Yeah, exactly. But then he did go out and play in a professional minor league team for a game, and then it really changed his opinion on the respect he has for them. But yeah, so the chips, you were saying he didn't lean one way or another?
Yeah, but he says he feels eventually, because we see all these goal line plays where it's like we don't know if dude got in because it's just all bunched up, or
they did get in, but the refs say they didn't.
Yeah,
even on the replay,
he thinks that they're going to start putting a microchip in the ball, so that no matter how much of the ball crosses that end zone, there's some kind of invisible barrier that as soon as it crosses, that microchip sends a signal saying touchdown, and then it'll be relayed to the head judge on the field.
The earpiece or something. That'd be that's way better than fucking microchipping a human. That's what I thought it was. Because I hadn't heard about it. I didn't read into it. But thank you for
my thing is, like, it's a cool idea, but I mean, eventually, are we just going to get away from like human error at all?
Yeah.
Like, are we going to have sensors in gloves that say whether or not Dez dropped it?
Fuck you. that was a catch. The NFL even issued a statement and said that was a catch.
Oh, it was. I'll say it was a catch, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, are we gonna get to that point where, like,
that was fucked up?
But like, that's what. Like, are we gonna get to a point where, like, the refs on the field aren't even making calls anymore?
Well, you wouldn't need them there.
Well, you have to have someone for the live audience. You'd still want someone to relay it.
Not if it's Madden. Madden took the refs out.
They did. They ain't even on the field anymore. But that's what I'm saying. Like advancements is cool, but there's a point when you still want that human error element.
Well, that's like to touch base on that in a sense, in the same category, like cars that are self-driving. Like one day we might have cars that you put in your destination on the GPS, and you literally have a bed instead of a seat, and you sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how a train can work, if you're a passenger. But people are still going to want a car they can drive. Like, I don't want a car... I would love to have a Tesla, don't get me wrong. And the autopilot, the auto driving, whatever is cool. But I want a car that I can drive. That's what I want a Hellcat. I want to have control of that power. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
And that goes kind of hand in hand with...
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to get too technical with technology.
They're trying to get to this perfect world where there's no errors.
All AI too. All AI.
And my thing with and to be honest, on the Tesla point, if I had a Tesla, the only time it would be an autopilot is if I was driving down a straight fucking freeway.
Yeah.
Because I hate straight freeway driving.
Yeah.
It's so just boring.
And my shit, like people were on their phones and shit, I would still be focused on the road because I'm that much of a skeptic. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my thing is, and this is one question I've always fucking had with this AI driving shit, is who's at fault? Because obviously you have car insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If I crash into you, like if I'm driving and I crash into you,
or if the car's driving,
my insurance should cover it.
Yeah.
If I'm paying
your
insurance,
deductible's going to go up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I'm not driving and say Tesla's in its autopilot mode and something freaks out and it changes lanes when it shouldn't be and smacks into someone,
I've had a lot of cases of that shit.
Is my insurance liable or is Tesla liable?
You say you write down Elon Musk and you hand the note and say, no, that's on him.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
legally, like
it's you. It's not the car. It's not the manufacturer. It's you.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
it should. Yeah, exactly.
And then if we get to this whole full autonomous, we're like, I'm kicking back and just
sleeping.
Yeah. Driving down the road.
Your dick like it owes you money.
Driving down the road, and all of a sudden the car decides, hey, bro, it's a 60. We're doing 120, and we're just going to smash into someone.
Bro, truck drivers have seen almost everything, but imagine if we go full autonomous and... Hopefully the trucks will be autonomous too, so they don't have to see that shit.
But
it'll be like a Cars movie in real life.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how am I at fault if my fully autonomous car, like I don't drive it ever, crashes into something?
Well, I mean, if it comes to that, then yeah, they have to find fault somewhere. But that's why it probably won't be fully autonomous until like it's, completely all the kinks are worked out. But then people can hack that shit too, and they have hacked cars.
Yeah.
Imagine that shit, like some Fast and Furious shit where all the cars come out the parking garage. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I know that we're probably, because we like to keep our casts at an hour and 15, hour and a quarter. We're probably close to that, if not over. But we do need to talk about two more things. Tebow.
Timmy Tebow.
God's plan.
I mean, this man. I mean, like I said.
The reason I brought this up is because we really went in. We have a podcast that is, titled as Tebow or whatever. And we really talked about it. And my stance was, I don't think he's going to. I think it's a gimmick. But if he can and does do it, hey, I'm behind it and more power to it. So go ahead and take it from there, Big.
Yeah, no, I mean, I read one article that said they think they're going to use him like Taysom Hill.
A Swiss Army knife kind of thing.
And, I mean, I've said this, and even Champ Bailey, I don't know if I told you this, but Champ Bailey came out and...
Out the closet? No, I'm kidding.
Champ Bailey came out and said, hey, look, I played with Tebow for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he's the leader that I've never seen another leader like him. Athlete, phenomenal.
Yeah.
NFL quarterback, not at all.
Damn, like that. But that kind of goes back to what you were telling me earlier about Trevor Lawrence having the same remarks about his leadership skills.
And so what Bailey said is he wishes Tebow would have made this change
in the
beginning because he thinks that Tebow has the work ethic. He has everything that is needed to do what he's trying to do now, but he just doesn't know if he waited too long.
Yeah. Well, he's 33, we said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a tough one. But with that being said, you also mentioned earlier that he's probably in the best shape of his life.
The scouts said that he's in better shape than he was in college and coming into the draft. And from the pictures in the videos
I was going to say,
seen,
we touched on what the scout said in the episode.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 where we talked about Tebow. But you've seen pictures since then that validate that?
Oh, yeah, no. Honestly, like, as a Broncos fan, like, I've seen Tebow, I've watched so many of his NFL games, his college games, everything. Mm-hmm. This dude, and I told you earlier, I swear, and I know Tebow's not the dude to do steroids, but he looks like Brian Cushing when Brian Cushing was on steroids.
That's wild. That is wild.
Like, there's a picture of him, he did this dig route on this guy, and he literally has his hands up like he's catching the ball on the move.
The diamond print.
And his arm is flexed, and you can see veins
shredded
in his biceps while he's trying to make a catch. Not like he's not flexing on anybody. And I know in OTAs, it's only OTAs, but they said today at practice he caught 2 touchdown passes with no drops.
I wonder how many passes were thrown at him, But still, either way. And Trevor Lawrence is fucking, like...
Well, Trevor Lawrence said that's like the first, like, that's when he really got into watching college football was during the Tebow time.
Gotcha.
And so he's always looked up to him, but he literally has said that Tebow's one of the hardest working guys in the locker room, and the leadership from him is just...
He's always been that. Everywhere he's been. He won a Heisman... because of his play at quarterback in college.
Yeah.
But also his leadership skills and his mentorship. But at the same time, there's a glitch or a flaw in his record or whatever because Aaron Hernandez played under him and he didn't do a very good job mentoring that shit out of him. He should have prayed for him.
But I mean, honestly, if it doesn't work out at tight end, I could see Urban Meyer keeping him on in some capacity.
Absolutely.
Just because of his mentor ability for
his mind.
Even though like Tebow mechanic-wise isn't an NFL quarterback,
yeah,
his mentorship for Lawrence could be
Oh yeah, absolutely, like phenomenal.
The mindset, like, I remember hearing a story when Tebow was in New England.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff's just done different in New England.
Oh fuck yeah, Belichick runs a tight ship up there.
But Belichick told Tebow not to do an interview or an ad or something.
And when Belichick says do or don't,
and Tebow was like, okay, whatever you say. Was just like, nope, I'm just not gonna do it. And there's millions of NFL players that would have said fuck you to Belichick to try to further their personal gains, and just continuing on that weird things that Belichick does. I saw an article. I didn't know this, which is crazy.
One of the weird things that Belichick doesn't really do is smile.
But
sorry, go ahead.
When you show up to camp in Patriots, it doesn't matter if you're the first round pick or the undrafted free agent. You don't get to wear your number.
That's the number that you chose.
Yeah, so like, who they drafted Mac Jones, right? That's the quarterback they drafted. Whatever number he wants to wear in the NFL, he doesn't get to wear it yet. He has to earn it.
Yeah. And
I'd never seen that before until this year. And
just for rookies, correct?
Just for rookies. Okay. Every rookie, no matter if you were, and he swears up and down, if he had first overall pick, say he took fucking Trevor Lawrence ain't getting his number. He makes the rookies wear, all of them wear the same number 50. I don't know why. But they all wear 50 until they earn their number on the practice field. Right. And that and it could be 2 practices, it could be all the way through OTAs, it could be
through the preseason you have to have.
But I mean, at practice he could still make you wear 50.
True.
You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true.
I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever heard of it, so I don't know how long someone's actually had to wear 50.
Yeah, and I've never heard of it until you brought it up. You know, that's crazy though. Like I said, Belichick runs a tight ship.
Oh yeah, and I mean, we can all see what it's created.
Mm-hmm.
So like everybody can say it's crazy from the outside. But like when crazy results in championships, nobody's gonna say anything.
And you can't put all of those wins just on Brady. Brady left and did his thing, but he also built a super team. Oh, speaking of, sorry, yes, he built a super team in Tampa. But speaking,
well, I'm just saying, like, does rookie Brady and first couple year Brady do as well without the Belichick style? And I mean, it's speculation at this point because I mean, no matter hate him, love him,
he's a GOAT.
He is the greatest player of the NFL.
That's arguable because a lot of people say Deion Sanders is the greatest player only because he had such an impact on, he would shut down half of the field on defense.
Yeah.
Nobody would throw out, and there's a lot of Hall of Fame players that say that Deion Sanders is the number one player by just player standards. But if you're talking about quarterbacks, Joe Montana's a great, and I do not like the 49ers. Anybody that knows me, I'm a Cowboys fan.
You're telling me though.
But it's Brady.
Brady wins. Say he wins
7 for 10 Super Bowl.
Let's say he wins again this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, they did add Julio to their Super Bowl.
That's what I was going to say. Julio fucking Jones is
tell me they win another Super Bowl this year. You can't argue at that point.
I said it before they won the last Super Bowl.
No, I'm saying like in general, we know Deion is Deion. Deion is Deion. But if you have 8 Super Bowls, and you literally, he's going to hold every quarterback record possible.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's no argument. That is.
Well, they say that Deion impacted more of the game. Special teams, defense. He played wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
all that. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, how many championships, Deion? And I know that's
but that doesn't with that because with basketball, one player can make a team great or not great. With football, you depend, especially if you're say a wide receiver. You only get the ball when that quarterback will throw it to you. But when you build a team like the Patriots, always had no names or low names come in. They did have superstars come in, like Ocho Cinco or whatever. But You know what I'm saying? Like,
but when they got Ocho Cinco wasn't Ocho Cinco.
Oh, 100%. But like now in Tampa, like now
that's
it's
my
super
biggest
team thing.
That's my biggest argument for why he's the best player is because he literally went. Because I mean, when he went to Tampa, the only person that really came with him was Rob Gronkowski,
and that was even later towards the season starting.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he literally went down to Tampa, and what was Tampa's record before he was there?
I mean, they had Winston, who was half blind and threw as many picks as touchdowns. But they also had Mike Evans, and who's the other wide receiver? Damn, that's...
Yeah. Well, that's my thing is, like, if he would have stayed in New England, I'd have been, like, best quarterback of all time.
Yeah. He is the best. Either
100%.
100%.
But I'm just saying...
Even before he left New England, he's the best quarterback of all time.
So they were 7-9.
And who were there? Sanu, right? No, Sanu was with Atlanta. Mike Evans and God damn it, who's the other wide receiver?
So
they just needed a good quarterback, and they built the defense around him.
You talking about Godwin? Is that who you're talking about?
Chris Godwin.
Yeah,
he's good.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So literally, all they added was Gronk and Brady.
But they added a lot more, but the big names.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's movement, but big name wise.
Well, that's just offense. Defense, I think they added a few big names. They got, was it Ndamukong Suh or?
No, they don't have Ndamukong.
Who came? Because people started ring chasing as soon as you went there. There was a running back too, and I don't know why I'm not up on this shit. Like I can't think right now.
Jones was still the guy who ran the year before was still the guy who ran for him.
Yeah, but they also brought in a bigger name running back. Like if you look at the roster, because he was only there for this is going in second season. The roster changed a lot. They brought a lot of people in. But Julio Jones on top of fucking Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and there's another wide receiver I can't think of right now. But Julio Jones on my shit list. No, kind of not. The comments he made when Shannon Sharp asked him on that phone interview, or he called him when he was doing his show with Skip Bayless and talked to Julio and was asking if he was, gonna leave the Falcons. He said, "Yeah, I'm out of there." And said, "What about the Cowboys?" And he basically said, "No, I want to win." Not in those words, but no, I want to go to a team that wins. And as a diehard Cowboys fan, all I could say was, I don't disagree with him.
So they did add a running back.
And which was?
Fournette.
Leonard Fournette, who was, crazy.
Leonard Fournette has these,
spurts.
He goes from, God dang, is this Derrick Henry?
Didn't he win Rookie of the Year in Jacksonville?
I don't know if he won Rookie of the Year.
But what are the pieces that they got on defense, Because they got some big pieces on defense, because the defense is what really won the Super Bowl for them. The defense was some fucking dogs. Some game changers, and yes, Mahomes had an injured foot or toe, but they kept him on his heels the whole game. How many sacks? I don't even know how many sacks they had. It was crazy. He couldn't get shit off. Tyreek he couldn't really get open. They played a fucking good game. It was like chess and checkers in a sense. But
100%. No one ever thought. I mean, I didn't think, and most people didn't think that they were going to come in and punch Kansas City in the mouth.
Not at all. I thought it would be at least a good game.
I thought it was going to be a dogfight.
It was a good game, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
No, I thought it was going to be more offense based, and then that defense that they built pre Tom Brady, because they didn't add anybody defensively.
Yeah, I was mistaken on that.
They re-signed Sue, they re-signed JPP. They've tagged Shaquille Barrett.
The hamburger helper hand.
Hey, JPP. And then they brought in. They really brought in Brady and Gronk, free agent wise,
and Fournette, right?
Yeah.
That was mid-season though.
They brought him in a little later, and they brought Brown in later in the season.
AB, and AB wasn't really part of it. He was part of it, but not really, because he was still dealing with bullshit. And then he caught that touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. So, but yeah, that's just crazy. But I think we need to wrap up soon and got to give this guy his flowers while he's still alive. And what a better note to end on than a retirement of a fucking legend. The highest scoring player in the history of the NFL, am I correct?
Yeah, he has 2,673 points on a career that started in 1996.
Take it, go ahead, speak on it.
Who is it? Adam Vinatieri.
There you go.
Pat McAfee's best friend, and
he used to hold his balls. That's what Pat says.
And we looked at it, and the craziest thing is, like, we always hear...
It's nuts.
We always hear, like, kickers set the record for points, blah, blah, blah. And I got to thinking, and I was like, I'm going to look at the list and see how far down the first skill player would be.
The first non-kicker.
Non-kicker. In the... number 38 is Jerry Rice. That is the first non-kicker to be on the
all-time scoring list.
Yeah.
Scored points.
Yeah, list. Points list. And then Jerry Rice is the only one in the top 50 that's not a kicker. And then the next one we see is at 58 is Emmitt Smith. And then even then you still in the top. This list goes to 250. Mm-hmm. You don't really start seeing a lot of position players till 100-ish range.
That's just wild. But like we talked about earlier, you want to explain why kickers are always the highest scoring?
Well, I mean, our main conversation was they score so much more. Like, they have field goals, point afters, and the thing is, when you look at it, like, everybody's gonna be like, oh, the quarterback scores, say, 30 touchdowns a year.
This shit blew my mind when we looked this up earlier.
But when we look it up, they don't get the points attributed to any passing touchdowns.
No.
Now, say Cam Newton runs in a touchdown, that's 6 points for his career point total. Mm-hmm. But unless you're the one who
catches one. But
yeah, I mean, we've had quarterbacks catch,
Super Bowl.
i.e. Philly in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Philly special.
You get 6 points that way. But as a quarterback, throwing it does not get you. You get 0. You don't even get like, hey, bro, here's 2 points for the assist or something.
Right? But and you know what's wild about that is, but they get passing yards, right?
Yeah.
If they throw a 5-yard pass, they're on their 5 and they throw a 5-yard pass, and the wide receiver or running back, whoever catches the tight end, runs it for 95 yards for or 90 yards for a touchdown. Yeah. They get 95 yards passing, but the receiver also gets 95 yards. Whether he catches it, if it's a 60-yard pass and he has to run 1 yard in the end zone, he gets 61 yards receiving.
Yeah.
So why can they share a stat like that?
Not the points.
But a quarterback can't share points. I guess it would have to be if he hands it off. It would be and a touchdown's run to be his points too. But at the same time,
well, no, because I mean, when a quarterback hands it off, he doesn't get rushing yards.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're okay. But he should share not share because they both get the same amount. He should get the points for throwing a touchdown or whatnot.
100%.
And you know what they should implement in the NFL is interceptions. When a quarterback deadlocks it on the receiver's hands, whatever chest, and he fumbles it up, bobbles it, and it gets picked, that should be a half a pick for the quarterback and a half a pick for the wide receiver.
I've always said that if a receiver, if it can clearly be seen as a like they say in baseball, when it's a routine play. Mm-hmm. And it's an error on the receiver's part, I don't think quarterbacks should be given the interception, period.
Yeah. No,
I think it should be a whole different stat line that's added.
I agree.
For a different kind of turnover for the receiver.
Absolutely. You're right. Like a receiving turnover.
Yeah.
A receiving interception or whatnot. And that's like, they didn't even register sacks until, the 80s? Yeah. So that wasn't even a stat. So the NFL has developed stats off reasons like this.
And I mean, the NBA's done the same thing. Blocks weren't recorded until a certain time. 3-pointers weren't a thing until a certain time.
You know what's crazy too is Wilt Chamberlain, blocks, he holds a record, right? They weren't even registered as a stat until like more than half his career was over.
Oh yeah,
that's fucking wild. So his stats, if he does hold the record, I'm not sure. If he does, his record would be tenfold. You know, it's I don't know. Everything it changes good for some things, but unless you're the old whites with baseball, from what Pat McAfee says.
Well, and since you brought up Wilt Chamberlain, as we're winding down, I saw this thing the other day. It was talking about crazy like memorabilia if you could get your hands on it. Mm-hmm. So I guess the game ball from his 100-point game was stolen.
Oh shit!
Because it was removed from the court. Like obviously they knew it was a history moment.
Oh yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah. It will never be touched.
It was removed from the court, and it was never found. Like the officials removed it from the court. They finished the game with a different ball, whatever. And supposedly,
so they hold on, time out. They removed it from the court, saying, "Hey, this is an artifact for history." So they didn't remove it because the game was over. He hit the 100 points, and they said, "Boom!" Took the ball, and said because they probably benched him, like let him rest.
Yeah, I mean his 100 points probably came real close to the end of the game anyway.
So they took the ball and said, "This is going in the Hall of Fame, the Naismith Hall of Fame." So so somebody knowingly
stole it.
Okay, because I can understand if it was not knowingly, it'd be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like it was just like after the game and like the ball boy picked it up type of thing. No. And supposedly, this article was talking about how somebody auctioned off a ball saying that it was
that ball.
Mm-hmm. And the problem with it is there's no way, like they dated it and the ball seems right around that era, but there's no way to prove whether or not it's the actual Wilt Chamberlain ball.
Yeah.
But it's still, I believe it sold for $3.5 million without being able to be authenticated.
Knowing. I wish I could go in like grandparents' fucking storage unit to find a ball that came from that era.
Right?
Holy shit.
Not knowing. But it was the article was something like most, like the most outrageous memorabilia lost in history or something like that.
That's crazy.
And that was like the number one thing is like that ball's gone. Like they haven't been able to find it. It's not like Tom Brady's jersey that got stolen and they found dude like.
Yeah, but
I mean back then there wasn't cameras. There wasn't, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I would say that you know in that sense, I don't know. That's nuts. Like that record would never be broke. I mean, Kobe came really close. Came close with 82 or 81 or 82. What was it, Mike? 81.
82.
It was 82.
82 against Toronto.
Okay, but saying that that record would never be broke, it's just like Westbrook breaking the freaking triple-double rule this year that stood or record for 40 years. But the difference is Westbrook fucking fights his own teammates and
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next episode. We're going to talk about that actually, because we'll talk about that next episode. But with that being said, I think we need to wrap it up tonight. How you feeling, Big? We get everything out that we need to talk about?
Yeah, I think we're good for fourth podcast.
Yeah, it should be 5, but family issues or not issues, family shit happens. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Big and Blizz podcast, episode 4. We appreciate everybody. And again, I'm going to reiterate, if you guys have any questions or advice, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please leave it in the comment section. Also, please like and share. If you're listening on Anchor or any of the podcast, that area, please do what you can. But we appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks, and